Welcome back, everyone, and I've got a new video for you today going over another custom mod. This time, well, it's kind of two custom mods and some other fun stuff. It's the Defiler, because Defiler is kind of fun. The Defiler replaced the Infection, and the Defiler was kind of the Infection of Borderlands 1. Better damage and stats overall, but not quite the insane dot, but still a crazy dot. So it's kind of a good compromise. I'm wearing the Infection because corrosive. I want to go as Maliwan as possible here, because the other thing I'm doing is I'm wearing the Maliwan Allegiance class mod. Now, the Defiler was made by Aaron, and you guys see me cover a lot of his stuff. The Maliwan, forgive me if I'm getting your name wrong, SirUmnei, I believe, and SirUmnei went through and made 5 Allegiance class mods legendary for each character that replaced Tiny Tina Coms. And Maya got Maliwan, let's see here, Jacob's Hyperion Doll. I guess that's it, maybe 4 each. Yeah. And they're all, based around those ones. So the Maliwan one is effective elemental damage, status effect chance, so dot damage, dot chance, reload speed. And then Blight Phoenix, Helios, Foresight, Flicker, and Suspension. So to support this, I tweaked my normal build around. I skipped Immolate for Helios. I only put 1 in Flicker so that I could afford to put him in Blight Phoenix, which all that should go nicely with Life Tap. This one, because I want to get dot healing, I skipped the solo skills and Mind's Eye since it wasn't boosted. And then on this side, I took the 4 suspension points and put them into Kinetic Reflection because I didn't think I'd needed more than 6 here. And since I didn't have either one of these boosted, I just put it in Ward. So that's the difference in my build. Now I have 2 versions of this. Actually, I brought 3, but I have the damage and the masher. So I figured the masher might just be, insanely good. The masher Infection was. So I'm going to try the damage one first and then switch to the other style. Let's see, and the dot's going to eat him pretty good. But the damage did pretty decent too, which is going to be nice for sure. Oh, hello. Get that Blight Phoenix damage in there. Get nice and close. Might as well get the sweet release going. Although I highly doubt I'll need it. And so far, I quite like this. Better than the Infection. Similar to the Infection, just way more powerful and potent. And I dig that. Gotta be somewhat careful. So this version's doing pretty well. I'll take this against this super badass loader. And then I'll switch to the masher version for the rest. Well, not the rest, just the next area, so I can compare badass kills. And I didn't find his crit there. Usually when you sneak between those, you do. But I killed him in a single phase lock. I'll go hit this ammo before I move on. That should be good. I think that's actually full. So yeah, hopefully. So yeah, I'm kind of excited to play with these Allegiance comms, because I think these are fun runs to do. I did Jacob's one way back in the day. Way slower, but way more potent. And it should be slow. It's a masher. Oh, I don't have my singularity to pull these guys in together here. Usually I toss it in the middle. Probably could have saved that final shot. And these are going to be exploders. And another round of exploders. And who do we got coming now? Hot loader. Whoa. That's that life tap healing. Yep. Got a, I think, a kinetic reflection kill there. Had to eat through his shield there. Alright, so I'm going to go hide here, get phase lock back. Will that get him? Nope. Boo. And that should finish him. So yeah, so far I like this a little bit better than the infection. Because, I mean, some people like that, just like almost no damage but all dots. But to me, I'd rather just kill the enemies and not have them die so slowly. See, this one I can kind of leave them, and I know I just kind of said no on that, but they die a lot faster, basically.
Hold it.
Keep thinking I can strip his shield with my Quasar, which I do not have. Maybe I should have just grabbed a Chain Lightning instead. That would have been a more functional grenade. Make sure I miss his shield, aiming off to the left there. Nice thing about this one is the crits. Just taking their arms off. See, yep. There's no need to wait there. I just wanted to show the dot death because people enjoy that. Yeah, like the crits just take them out. This one might actually be better than the other version. Just because it's easier to land that crit. Supposedly, I completely fucked him up on that guy.
Enough.
Uh-oh. There we go. Thank you, Life Tap. Once again, you saved the day. Yeah, Life Tap and Dots on OP8 is such a nice combo. Isn't there usually a guy right there? So, yeah, so far, good job on both the comm and the gun. I'm pretty happy with both of these. Now, yeah, I'm probably gonna have a little bit more fun with the Jacobs and Hyperion. Although I almost feel like Hyperion Allegiance from Maya's cheating, because there's so many fucking good Hyperion guns. I mean, you know, the bitch, the butcher, just the longbow, like so many of my favorite guns. Will that get him? Actually, I have this. Alright, welcome Hurley. I might just quick put on a shock weapon for his shield, because it's born to eat through his shield with corrosive. So, I'm going to... What do I got? Do I have any shock weapons, really? Looks like just the twister. So be it. And those two should do it. And down goes Hurley. I figured he's big enough to land these on his crit. You guys noticed a kind of a weird pause there. I had a big sneeze. Alright. A few enemies left, and yeah, this is a pretty well done... Ooh. Well, 1.37, not great. Where is he? Hi, there he is. Yeah, so I like this better than the Infection for sure. Some of you might not, but whatever, each to their own. It's like the Infection, just a little bit more solid in my opinion. Actually doing some damage. Because like right there, I think was a good example. You hit them, and the gun takes about half their life, and the dot eats the rest. So when the Infection would do like 10%, and you're just sitting there for 10 minutes waiting for them to die, and they can still be shooting at you. Not some terrible chests at the end, so that's cool. So yeah, pretty happy with these. And the Allegiance comps are going to be pretty fun to play around with. Like I said, the Jacobs, you guys know me and my love for Jacobs, so yeah, that's going to be cool. Critical damage minus 30%, that might be, hopefully that's a bug. I'm not going to use that till I figure that out, because it should be plus. The recoil reduction and reload speed, very cool. Especially if you combine this with a Jacob's Relic, which gives you mag and more recoil reduction. You'll be able to... I mean, Jacob's guns are going to feel like fucking Hyperion with all that recoil reduction. And the Jacobs, if you don't want the mag, they have 2 different recoil reductions on their Allegiance stats. So you combine all 3 of those, and holy fuck. Foresight's very cool, that. Obviously, Mind's Eye works great. Jacobs are crit weapons. Inertia for survival, chain reaction, and accelerate, it all makes sense. The Hyperion, critical hit, yeah, that makes sense again. Magazine, fire rate, all good. Wreck, yeah. Mind's Eye, more crit. Ward for some survival, I like that. Sustenance seems a little bit random, but a little bit survival and accelerate. That all seems to make sense. And then the doll... Gun damage, mag. I don't know if the accuracy's... Not many doll guns are lacking accuracy, so I'm not sure about that stat, but... Wreck. I don't know if I... Well, yeah, I mean, fire rate does speed up the burst delay, so... But this doesn't seem like doll gets as much out of Wreck as some of the other brands. But Foresight, always very cool. Ward for some survival. KR, accelerate. Not bad jobs on them. I haven't put a ton of thought into the skills, so I'm not like, oh, they should have done this or this instead. But, just kind of thinking what makes the most sense with each brand. I think the Maliwan one is kind of themed the best, but some of the other ones are hard. Like, what do you do with Hyperion and Jacobs? Maliwan is elemental. Maya's got a bunch of elemental skills, and they boosted the dot chance and dot damage, and... That goes well with like Helios and Blight Phoenix and those dot skills. So it makes a lot of sense. Some of those other ones, like I said, a little bit harder to kind of think of and what to do. And how to make that work. With the Jacobs one, if I was going to change anything, I might just to really embrace Jacob's allegiance, because there's only one Jacob's allegiance, or there's only one Jacob's shield, which is the Rough Rider. So, let's look at these. I would have done, not inertia. I would have switched probably inertia to fleet to fully embrace the Rough Rider. And then I would have taken off one of the damage ones, because Jacobs has a lot of damage. And maybe get rid of chain reaction, because we already have the trickster common stuff. And move chain reaction into either life tap or sustenance, combined with the Rough Rider's big health and damage reduction to try to help keep you alive. And try to kind of theme it around the Rough Rider, since it only has one shield. And the Hyperion, because they have amp shields, I would have probably had inertia on the Hyperion one. That way, maybe even not with a B, just a regular amp shield. You can use this a little bit better. I don't know. I'm being picky and critical. This isn't like me being a dick, say they did a bad job. I'm just trying to think about what makes the most sense with these. What are doll shields? I can't even remember a doll shield off the top of my head. They're booster shields, right? Then ward is pretty good for those. I think they're booster shields. I could be wrong. Just thinking of like what all these brands have. Hyperion with amp shields, I think definitely goes well with inertia, and Jacobs with the Rough Rider, some kind of passive or health regen, because that's, probably sustenance. Sustenance boosted with the Rough Rider is pretty nice, especially with fleet to let you move fast. Anyways, again, that's me being kind of picky, but those are my ideas I have, and that's the whole point of doing these, is to review things and look at them. I don't think I'd really change anything with the Maliwan one. I quite like this, because the elemental effect damage and effect chance are good. You can't just boost all elemental damage. That's broken. The reload speed's a nice boost for just kind of a random third one. Although the Maliwan Allegiance, if I was running like WEP, I would have worn this instead of the Bone. Oh wait, that's Hyperion. Damage, fire rate, yeah. That all makes sense. Blight, Phoenix, Helios, Foresight's always good. Flicker, Suspension. Suspension's the one there that doesn't kind of fit in the most. Man, I might just go Backdraft 2 instead of Suspension and like fully embrace. But that's hard to make a build. Hitting all of these kind of limits what you really want to do. But it would be kind of cool just to hit them all. But again, being ultra picky, I don't know if that's actually the best idea. Anyways, I really like the class mod. I really like the Defiler. I think it's a much better version of the Infection, in my opinion. Wonder what you guys think. I'm still not noticing the Impaler damage much. But, thanks for watching, everyone. If you guys have not checked out the community patch, I'm going to get in comments for people that haven't seen that. Check out Shadowevil's video linked in the description below where he goes over it. It's now on version 2.1, I believe. And then check out the GitHub, which is also in the description below for all these custom mods. And you guys can get a bunch of cool new toys to play with. And then thanks to everyone who's been contributing to these. GitHub there, the Borderlands 2 community mod, whatever called it, GitHub, is growing really nicely, and it's getting really hard to keep up with all the cool stuff coming out there. But I'm trying to cover as much as possible. So if you guys have seen something you want me to cover, I'm going to get to as much of it as I can. There's just a shitload to cover, so, be patient. and I will get to as much as I possibly can. I've been trying to pump out 2 a day. This week's going to slow down for me a little bit because my niece and nephew are in town, and I'm going to spend some time with them. They are, I think, like 6 and 9. God damn it. Enter jokes there. Please don't make 69 jokes about my niece and nephew. I just realized that's just going to happen. So, yeah. Anyways, thanks for watching. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you all later. Bye.